talking about growing up in Massachusetts and Hull, Mass, and how I was dousing croquet balls with gasoline, normal thing, and I blew up my mother's car in the driveway. It was by mistake. It wasn't intentional. Not at all. I was kind of out of control. And before I got in bands, I remember this was the time, I think it was late 50s, and rock and roll was happening. Bobby Darin was out with Splish Splash, Jerry Lee Lewis, You Take My Life! And I used to go nuts over that stuff. And Elvis used to jump in the bed and do Elvis imitations. And look at yourself in the mirror. If I had I had to have the squint right and the hair right, and everything had to be right. And I was totally taken over by rock and roll. That's why I eventually got in a band. But we used to go to a place called the Surf Ballroom. The Surf Ballroom was right on the water. It's now called the Nantasket Resort. But at that time, near Paragon Park in Hull, there was a roller coaster there and an amusement park. And down from the amusement park was the Surf Ballroom that Friday nights used to go there. And the kids used to take a bus down there, and it's in there. And you used to walk up to where the first time I saw a live band. And I walked in the door, and I saw this band on stage. I think they had 2 guitars, a bass, and drums. They were called the Rockin' Ramrods, and they were playing a Duane Eddy song, which, of course, was Ramrod. And that's the first time I heard a live band. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try to recreate it right now with a couple of tracks. This is what I heard. So I saw them on stage and went, oh my God, that's what I want to do with my life. They're so cool. There's girls are looking at them and they're on stage and they got sparkly shirts on. And what's not to like? I mean, 14, 15, 16, I can't remember what it was, but that was it for me, And so I didn't give up school at that particular time, but I started listening to rock there, and it was like R&B and rock, and they had a thing called Arnie Ginsberg. Arnie Ginsberg was on WMEX in Boston, and Arnie used to do slide whistles and all kinds of crap. I think I'll slip that in here so you can hear a little bit of Arnie.
And a frantic, friendly Friday night in Boston town. Old aching adenoids, Arnie Ginsberg, woo-woo, for you on the Night Train show. All set with all the tops in pops. Brand new Wimex Tundex Top 20 coming your way. Number 7 sound this weekend, the Marcells and Blue Moon. Dang, 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 ding, and all ding, blue moon, blue moon, dip, 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 moon, 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 blue moon.
But my parents used to send me to bed, as a matter of fact, and I had a little transistor radio. No, it was a tube radio plugged in. And in between smelling my farts under the covers, I used to take that thing and put my head under the covers and listen to WMEX. All the cool songs around the 60s and 61. And I like to do that. Sometimes on the way back from the surf, I remember one time I was walking, I was going to hitchhike home. We didn't have a very good supervision at home, but I'll never forget it. I went into Tedeschi's Market, and I think I bought, I got a hold of a banana. And just like when I blew up my mother's car, a whim overcame me. And I saw this car coming by on the highway. It was dark out. It was about 9 or 10 at night, and I decided to see if I could hit the car with the banana peel. So I will never, ever forget this. You guys got to believe me when I tell you this. It's true. I took the banana peel, and I went back like in one of the, it was a really major league kind of, I was pretty good. I wasn't little league. I was a pitcher. But as an outfielder, I had a pretty good arm. I hauled back and threw the banana peel. The banana peel and the parabola of the car were perfect. The banana peel made a perfect arc, and unfortunately for the driver, for some reason it was a hot summer night and the passenger window was open. And I'll never forget, the thing went perfectly through the passenger window and spread open on the side of this woman's face. She careened off the road and went up on the sidewalk with two wheels. By the time that happened, I was running full tilt, 100% full tilt, down the sidewalk. I knew this was it again. What have I done? And I remember jumping into this little store that was open. I think it could have been a liquor store, and lying down between the aisles. I think the grocer or whoever it was in the other room, and laying there for 15 minutes until I ventured out into the world again to see if I was still a free man. Unbelievable. I'll tell you one thing, my mother was a saint. She was a saint. She had to put up with 4 maniac children. Through one time, I decided when I was near the Surf Ballroom, I don't know how I got there, just a thumb down the end of town. I was really getting into rock and roll at that point. And as a matter of fact, you can look this up. I don't remember how old I was, but I went into Tedeschi's, and all these stores used to have 45 RPM records. They were sort of stacked in this little thing. You could sort of thumb through them, and they had their own little index things. So I went over to them, and it was winter time at the time, and I remember I had this long coat on, and I never bought a record before. I didn't have any money. I had money for the Good Humor Man. I had money for fudgicles, 5 cents, 10 cents. These things at the time were probably around 75, 98 cents or something. So there was 2 Sweet Little 16.
They're really rocking in Boston and Pittsburgh, PA, deep in the heart of Texas and round the Frisco Bay.
That I really liked on the radio. And there was a song called The Walk by Jimmy McCracklin.
I know you heard of the cha-cha-choo, but the walk is a dance that you can do. You just walk. You just walk. Oh, you walk.
And this is amazing, I remember this. The other one was Itchy Twitchy Feeling. Oh yeah, it was Bobby Hendricks. Always loved black artists.
Soon your arms and legs start flapping like a hound or nothing yapping. You're rocking and rolling.
But I took them in my hand to look at them, and then somehow they landed up under my coat, in my back, under the belt, and my coat just slipped right on over them. I figured no one would, big deal. 3 records. So, God, what a creep I was. I can't believe it. So here I was, walking towards the door in the supermarket, when someone grabbed me. They grabbed me. Come with me, sir. Oh, no. I'm screwed. I'm a thief. I can't believe it. Why did I do this? I just wanted to hear the songs. I just wanted to go home and play the songs. My mother has a hi-fi. They had a little hi-fi that stood on these 4 screw-in legs, and all I had to do was buy one of those little things that fit in the 45, because I remember it had a 45 RPM, a 33 RPM, and a 16 RPM. I could go home and listen to my own records. And as they're leading me back towards the manager's office, who comes around the aisle with a cart? My mother was shopping. You little thief! Are you out of your mind? What is wrong with you? Let me have him. I'll take care of him. He's an idiot. I don't know why he did this. I'll take care of him. And say, okay, ma'am. Then she took me by the ear, twisted my ear, and dragged me out into the parking lot into her car. Never do anything like that again. You embarrassed me in front of the entire town. Okay, Mom, I said. And I was cool and behaved myself for about 2 weeks.